Fuck. Uh-oh. That's not gonna work. What the fuck? Oh, shit. This one.
The face of fear on everyone you meet. They come on the screen.
The screens.
They get alive. We are the people. They won't take us alive.
He's in a mood. He's in a mood. He's already singing along with the theme song. This ought to be a good show. Not really, motherfucker.
Mutilation, torture, murder, genocide, mechanics of death, all through the sky. A new heaven awaits, an afterlife of bliss. We must stand strong. We must resist. They come on the
They be
screen.
coming on his screen.
They spill their lives.
Lying ass.
We are the people. They want to take us alive.
Well, you never know what kind of Easter eggs you can find by sitting through their theme music. It's sort of a special.
They call us rebels. They spit our name. We are the people. We want justice back.
Oh man, I got the notification we went live. I can't teach on it. It's 5 minutes. I'll wait it out. I'll tune in at the top of the hour.
They come on the screen. Say they won't survive. We are the people. They won't get us alive.
If y'all are sitting through this, thank you. Y'all are off. Fucking love y'all. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, feds and degenerates, cuckolds of all ages, it's time for Mild's Culture Plate. I am your host, Mild Kevin Miles, coming at you from my whiskey den because I currently do not have a studio. A little bit of a show note. Those of you who may have tuned in to my Thursday gaming stream over on my gaming channel, which, by the way, yes, this is a different microphone. This is meant for music and stage work. This is not necessarily meant for radio, so you're hearing more of my S's, my s. My deepest apologies. I wish I had a better pop filter on this thing. Whoa, what is up with? Why is all of a sudden? You see that the auto color? It was working fine till I went live, and now like the color correction on my camera is going ape shit with the orange background. Anyway, cheers to Sangland 86. Cheers and welcome. And cheers to Still Not Banned here. Cheers and welcome. So yeah, my normal podcasting mic is meant for a desk. And I clearly don't have a desk here to put it on. I'm not going to just sit and hold the damn stem on it. So I got out my my musician's mic and going to try to podcast with it tonight. Fun times. Yeah, I still don't have a studio. I'm going to try to get that thing up here in the next day or two. So if you tuned in to my Thursday gaming stream, it never got off the ground. I was trying to use the ingress whip settings because apparently you can do high quality live streaming. Like Rumble apparently doesn't lag if you use that with 1080p video. So I was getting it working. I got it working fine, but the audio was echoing badly. And I was in the middle of fixing the echoing audio when all of a sudden, straight above my head, there was a light fixture that just began shooting down a stream of water onto my keyboard. Yeah. There was a faucet in my kitchen that the sink drain had come apart, and my lady was doing dishes and had no idea that the water was literally just running down into the floor and across the ceiling of my office and down through the light fixture. I did a little video over on my gaming channel explaining why everything broke down. I showed a little bit of my stacks of comics and the blank spot where my bookshelf was, and so I've been drying out the floor for 2 days, and it's just about ready to start moving stuff back in there. I should have my studio back together sometime late tomorrow, and I think I'm going to do a makeup gaming stream on Monday, and Sangling says you shouldn't have goosed Aqua. Yeah, it was the craziest thing, and I was so lucky. Even my keyboard, like water was shooting directly onto this keyboard, and the keyboard's fine. None of my computer equipment got wet. None of my comic books got wet. It was literally just the surface of my desk and the carpets were soaked. I lucked out so badly. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars in graphic novels, thousands of dollars in computer and music equipment in that office, and the only things that got wet were the surface of the desk and the carpet. And there was some clothing and some other stuff that got damaged back in my laundry room because the pipe actually is over there. It just happened to run across into the wall. So I looked out. So anyway, so that's if you saw that other video over on my gaming channel explaining all of this, I said I wasn't sure if there'd be a culture plate. I wasn't sure if there'd be any gaming streams this weekend. And upon hooking everything up and making sure it worked, I'm like, heck, this would be a decent setup for the culture plate show. So here I am. I'm doing the culture plate show. I'm not able to do gaming because it's just not stable enough to be mashing keyboards and stuff. But you know, for browsing the internet and talking to all of y'all, this is just fine for me. Still Not Been Here says glad everything was okay. Yes, I mean I got so lucky, and praise to God, and praise, you know, I felt like somebody was looking out for me, because that just never happens like that. You never have. Which, don't get me wrong, I've had a really bad string of bad luck this week, but as bad as things have been, I've come out almost completely unscathed. I feel so lucky. Yes, thank you, God. Thank everyone out there. I'd already be running from the mold. Yes, that's why I've been heavily running fans. I've been spraying disinfectant and just kind of trying to manage the whole situation. The room was just stinking an hour later. It reeked of mold an hour later. And yeah, I've just been continuously spraying disinfectant and yeah, I used a carpet shampooer, got all of it up out of the carpet, but it still is a little damp. You got to run fans, and it takes a couple days to get all that going. And I think we're just about there. So anyway, that's been my couple of days here, and I've my here in my whiskey den. I've literally got stacks of computer equipment. I have my bookshelves moved into my whiskey den. I have stacks of comic books all over my desk in the other room, and so yeah, it's gonna be a chore getting everything put back together while also preparing for my work week and everything else. But I still feel blessed. I did have to postpone a lot of my plans for the weekend because of all this. But hey, man, it is what it is. I also got a good overtime shift in at work, so going to be getting a plumber over here first thing Monday. And yeah, if you have an ozone generator, now's the time to run it. I do have an air purifier that's got the ozone function on it. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. And yeah, I didn't think about plugging it in, but yeah, I'll probably take it over into the office when I start putting things back together. I've also been thinking about doing a little bit of a moving some stuff around in there. So if the set looks a little different, I'm thinking about moving. Like if you're used to the way my set looks, my studio, thinking about moving my desk further down the wall so I'll be square with the big bookshelf. Um, that'll give me room to the right where I could potentially plug in another computer and run multiple streams, and uh, that might help bounce off some of the bandwidth for the gaming streams. I'll it's going to take some time, but I should have everything back together by Monday, Tuesday. Anyway, folks, let's get into the news. So we covered this story several months ago where there was this influencer who was going on TikTok during the Biden administration and telling migrants how they could come into the United States and essentially take over vacant real estate and take advantage of squatting laws. Da, 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 da. Sanglance sending me a link to an ozone generator. Let me go ahead and go over to my Rumble real quick and pop that up. And I'll save that for later. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, that's definitely not what I have. Air ionizer odor remover. Shit. All right. Cool. Thank you, Sanglant. But yes, if you're not familiar with him, we'll go ahead and play these videos of of this influencer here and a couple of these videos that he put out. Wait, I think I have them in the wrong order. Wait, no, where did the other one go? I had two of them. Hang on. Where did the original video go? Shit, I had another tab up. This one will take dead fish smell out of a car. Oh yeah, uh, that's actually what I need in my car. Man, I cut some raunchy farts in there. I'm just kidding. Uh, okay, I had this going. But sometimes I use my open X link to throw another X link in and I had it up. Where did it go? Okay, here it is.
United States, ya que me enteré que
This
existe
character
una
here.
ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos
So you remember this guy?
expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio.
My desk business
Invadir
is
casas
invading abandoned
abandonadas.
houses. Since I've
Ya que
looked
me he buscado unos códigos
for some
con mis
codes with my
amigos
friends
africanos.
Africans, and
Y
they
me
told me
dijeron
that they
que ya
have
llevan
already
como
taken
7
about
casas
7 houses.
expropiadas.
And as the
Y como
saying
dice el
goes,
dicho,
Daddy,
papi,
you have to
hay
look
que
for
buscar la
the
vuelta.
return,
Y
and
la
the
vuelta ahorita
return
mismo
right now
es
is
invadir
to invade
casas.
houses, since we
Ya
are
que
not
nos
in
encontramos
a
en
street
situación de
situation,
calle.
and
Y es
in
la
the
única
only
manera que
way we
tenemos
have not
para no
live
vivir
in the
en la
street
calle
and
y
not
no
be
ser
a
una carga pública.
public burden.
Capichi. La ley
The law
dice
says that
que
the
las casas
abandoned
abandonadas,
houses
deterioradas
deteriorated
y que esté en
and that
mal
is in bad
estado,
condition,
podemos
we
llegar
can get and
y
repair and live
repararlas, vivir en ella
in it,
y si
and if we
podemos
can sell it,
venderla,
even
hasta
ask
pedir
for credits
créditos
with
con
it.
ella.
What do
¿Qué
you
dicen
say?
ustedes?
So he's essentially was talking about stealing houses, right? Stealing houses, squatting, stealing houses, and then flipping them as illegal migrant. Well, so then a couple weeks later, after that went viral, then he puts this video out.
Estoy en peligro de muerte.
I'm in danger. I need protection.
Necesito protección.
I'm being persecuted in the United States.
Mi gente, me enteré.
Okay, so that was the other video. What the hell? Oh, and then, okay, so he's got this here. As an American citizen, I can get a gun, and well, I've been looking
Y bueno, he estado pendiente de comprarme un
to buy an
R15
AR-15 or
o
Glock.
una
Because remember,
glotona.
San Francisco
Capichi.
said that
Miren los precios, papi, de esta
illegal
belleza.
immigrants had gun rights.
$1,000, $700,
Look at the prices of this: 1,000, 700, 600, 800.
Muchacho.
I remind you
Les
that in the United
recuerdo que en
States,
Estados Unidos
you have to
tienes
be
que andar
armed for your
armado por
safety.
tu seguridad.
Now, I don't
Como
disagree
les
with him
seguía
here.
diciendo, solamente nosotros los ciudadanos americanos podemos portar armas
They keep telling
en
you
Estados
citizens
Unidos
carry guns
con
in the United
licencia
States
y con
with
prevención.
license prevention. I'm going to
Le
show
voy a
you this
mostrar
type
este
of
tipo de arma que son las glotonas. Pero miren lo que
we
tengo
have
por
around
aquí.
here. The long guns, you can get
Las
them in
armas
a
largas. Las puedes obtener en una tienda
normal
normal como
store.
esto ahorita. Ya me
I already
dieron
got my
mi...
brochure. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff he was putting out. Oh shit. Was that not playing the whole time? Fuck. That was not playing the whole time. My bad. Could you hear it? Could you hear it at least? Anyway, so we have an update to this story. We have an update to this gentleman's life. Brazen migrant influencer. This is from the New York Post. Brazen migrant influencer who flashed cash, urged other illegals to squat in U.S. homes, has been deported to Venezuela after causing an uproar on the flight. Oh, okay, he said audio was good. Thank you, Sanglant. The brazen migrant influencer who infamously flashed around wads of cash, of U.S. government cash handouts, and encouraged other illegal border crossers to squat in American homes has finally been deported back to Venezuela after causing uproar on the flight back. Leonel Moreno, who encouraged illegal migrants to invade abandoned houses in sick TikToks, was sent back to the narco state this week after President Trump resumed deportation flights to the country. Venezuela's Minister of Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, said Moreno was welcome back. However, the freeloading migrant caused disruptions on the flight and upset his fellow passengers. Here he is here. He's since grown a nice little afro. The firebrand TikToker had to be placed in his own section of the plane with extra security to calm down tensions. It is unclear why Moreno caused a disruption or what he was doing. After he stepped off the deportation flight, he flashed a thumbs up and received a pat on the shoulder from a security official escorting him off the plane. Moreno crossed the Texas border illegally in April 2022 and was quickly released into the U.S. The Venezuelan border crosser, however, failed to appear for his required check-ins with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, leading the feds to arrest him in Gahanna, Ohio in March 2024. An immigration judge ordered Moreno's deportation last October, but Venezuela refused to accept any flights at the time. Once President Trump returned to the White House and commenced his mass deportation campaign, Venezuela began allowing U.S. deportation flights to land again. Moreno was moved to an ICE detention center in Conroe, Texas on February 26 to prepare for his deportation. Moreno caused outrage while living in the U.S. for his viral TikTok that we just saw. I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave, Moreno said in one clip while waving around $100 bills. Moreno said he used his 1-year-old baby, a U.S. citizen, to boost his social media presence and boasted that he and his wife didn't pay anything for their daughter's birth thanks to Papa Biden. ICE was also looking into Moreno's alleged service as a sergeant of the Venezuelan General Directorate of Military Intelligence. Sources previously told the Post he was also being probed for posting videos on social media trying different firearms at a gun store. While in jail, Moreno spoke to the Post and wailed about being a victim of unjust persecution. I came here to the United States because of persecution in my country, but they're doing the same thing to me in the United States, persecuting me, Moreno moaned. It's all misinformation in the media about me. They're defaming me. They're misrepresenting me in the news. I'm a good father, good husband, good son, good person, humble, respectful to the people who respect me, he added. So again, sorry about my voice popping so much in this other microphone. I'm trying to keep my P's and my T's and my S's faced away from directly into the mic here. But hopefully it's not messing up my reads too much here. So there you have it. He fucked around and found out, y'all. He fucked around and found out. Speaking of those trying to buy guns, we've got the DOJ headed to Los Angeles to investigate the LA Sheriff's Department gun permit wait times and fees. The Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division announced Thursday that it launched an investigation into the LA County Sheriff's Department over possible infringement of the Second Amendment. The department said in a press release that it was investigating to determine whether the LASD is engaging in a pattern of practice of depriving ordinary law-abiding Californians of their Second Amendment rights. The press release cited a recent federal court decision that found that the law and facts were clearly in favor of two plaintiffs who challenged the 18-month delay that the LASD was imposed when processing their concealed handgun license applications. The DOJ's Civil Rights Division believes that those two plaintiffs are not the only residents of LA County that have experienced long delays that are unduly burdening or effectively denying their Second Amendment rights. This Justice Department will not stand idly by while states and localities infringe on the Second Amendment rights of ordinary law-abiding Americans, said Attorney General Pam Bondi. The Second Amendment is not a second-class right, and under my watch, the department will actively enforce the Second Amendment just like it actively enforces other fundamental constitutional rights. In response to the investigation, the Sheriff's Department released a statement that read, in part, the department is facing a significant staffing crisis with only 14 personnel in our CCW unit, yet we have successfully approved 15,000 applications. Currently, we're diligently working through approximately 4,000 active cases, striving to meet the unfunded mandate. I mean, you call it an unfunded mandate, but you do it to yourself by just not having constitutional carry. It's an unfunded mandate because y'all's state laws suck my nuts. Oh, shit. In other local, or should I say state news, we've got this. 4 sheriff's deputies from the same Texas department die by suicide in just a few weeks. 4 current and former sheriff's deputies from the Harris County Sheriff's Department in Houston have died by self-yeeting since Friday, in a including 3 in a span of 1 week, according to authorities. In the first saddening incident, retired Deputy Long Ying died by self-yeeting on February 6th, according to ABC 13. Weeks later, Christina Kohler, 37, who was found yeeted on March 13th after being declared missing for over a week, the station reported. 3 days later, the body of former Deputy Maria Vasquez was discovered, with the Houston Medical Examiner ruling the death as self-inflicted. Vasquez had retired in December of 2024. Then on March 19th, retired Deputy William Bozeman also yeeted himself after spending 24 years in the Sheriff's Department. President of Harris County Deputies Organization, Jose Lopez, said the deaths caught a lot of us by surprise. It hits very close to home, and it's a reminder to us how fragile life is. It's also a reminder that we need to look out for each other. We do need to take care of each other. Lopez added that HCSO has also launched an ongoing mental health initiative to address the disturbing trend. Harris County Sheriff Ed Gonzalez also mourned the horrific rash of self-deletion. Today we learned of Harris County Sheriff's Office retiree who yeeted from an apparent self-yeeting. This makes 3 for us within the span of a week. Our hearts are heavy. We extend our deepest condolences for the families, colleagues, and friends. It's a painful reminder that life is fragile and time is not promised, Gonzalez wrote on Facebook. And there's the New York, but the national hotline, dial 988, or just email Mild's Culture Plate. Emails down in the description. If you need to talk, man, I'll be there. Hey, we got Great Liquor. Cheers and welcome. Sorry, I don't have my usual sound effects either, because the sound effect phone needed to charge, and if I plug it into the thing while it's charging, it creates a loud buzz. So cheers and welcome to Great Liquor. Every time I read your name, I want to go pour myself a shot. Anyway, oh man. So while we're still on state news, let's bring it on back to my home state. Had some fun times in Wichita this week. Or I'm sorry, Topeka rather. Fun times in Topeka, Kansas. As Satanist leaders attempt to hold a black mass in the state house sparks chaos and 4 arrests. The leader of a small group of self-described Satanists and 3 other people were arrested Friday following a scuffle inside the Kansas State House, arising from an effort by the group's leader to start a black mass in the state rotunda. About 30 members from the Kansas City area Satanic Grotto, led by its president, Michael Stewart, rallied outside the State House for a separation of church and state. The group also protested what members called the state's favoritism toward Christians and following events inside. Governor Laura Kelly temporarily banned protests inside just for Friday, weeks after Stewart's group scheduled an indoor ceremony. The Satanic Grotto's rally outside drew hundreds of Christian counter-protesters because of the Grotto's satanic imagery, and its indoor ceremony included denouncing Jesus Christ, who Christians believe is the Son of God. About 100 Christians stood against the yellow tape marking the Satanic Grotto's area. The 2 groups yelled at each other while Christians also sang and called on Grotto members to accept Jesus. Several hundred more Christians rallied on the other side of the Grotto area, but further away. Kelly issued her order this month after Roman Catholic groups pushed her to ban any satanic grotto event. The state Catholic bishops called what the group planned a despicable act of anti-Catholic bigotry, mocking the Catholic Mass. Both chambers of the legislature also approved resolutions condemning it. The Bible says Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy, so when we dedicate a state to Satan, we're dedicating it to death, said Jeremiah Hicks, a pastor at Cure Church in Kansas City. Satanic Grotto members, who number several dozens, said they hold a variety of beliefs. Some are atheist, some use the group to protest harm they suffered as a church member, and others see Satan as a symbol of independence. Great Liquor said, that's okay, you make custom sounds on your own. Amy Dorsey, a friend of Stewart's, says she rallied with the Satanic Grottos to support free speech and religious freedoms guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment, in part because Christian groups are allowed to meet regularly inside the State House for prayer and worship meetings. Before his arrest, Stewart said his group scheduled Black Mass for Friday because it thought the Kansas legislature would be in session, though lawmakers adjourned late Thursday night for spring break. Stewart said the group might come back next year. Maybe unbaptisms right here in the Capitol, he said. Video shot by KSNT showed that when Stewart tried to conduct its group's ceremony in the first floor rotunda, a young man tried to snatch Stewart's script from his hands and Stewart punched him. Several highway patrol troopers wrestled Stewart to the ground and handcuffed him. They led him through the hallways on the ground floor below and into a room as he yelled, "Hail Satan." We have video of this. Y'all want to see it? Y'all want to see video of this confrontation? So again, he was approved to be outside, not inside, but he did it anyway. And so in front of all the news cameras, he decided to go ahead with his Black Mass. And here we go.
He doesn't have permission. He's supposed to be outside.
Before the mighty and ineffable prince of darkness,
Jesus Christ came.
in the presence,
Here, go back here, you have the Christians yelling, "Christ is King." And you see this young man here. This young man here is getting really fucking pissed off at this guy mocking Christianity.
and in this assembled company, I acknowledge and confess my past allegiance.
He reaches up and tries to damage his property.
I acknowledge and confess my past.
And he punches him right square in the nose. And now you've got the cops involved. Cops are giving him a beat down. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting.
I am not resisting. I'm not resisting. Yes, sir. I am not resisting. I am not resisting. I am not resisting.
All the cameras, man. This is what he wanted. Folks, this is what he wanted. Great Liquor says, what? An unbaptism? Is there such a thing? How is that done? He probably dunks your head in piss. I don't know. But this is exactly what he wanted. Yeah, unfortunately, that young gentleman, he's probably going to wind up in jail too. Hail Satan. Oh, man. He's yelling, "Hail Satan." Because he got what he wanted. This is exactly what he wanted. Now he's going to have a lawsuit. It's not going to go anywhere, by the way. Even if violence is done to you, even if someone damages your property, you can't just punch them in the face with cops right there. You got to maintain your composure. But yeah, the kid lost his cool. And unfortunately, the kid gave the guy exactly what he wanted, which was media attention, which was to be on Mild's Culture Plate on a Saturday night. So yeah, we've got Satan in Kansas. All right, let me go back to the article and read about the arrests here. Stewart's wife, Maynard B., said he's only exercising his First Amendment rights. Online records show that Stewart was jailed briefly on Friday, suspicion of disorderly conduct and having an unlawfully assembly, then released on a $1,000 bond. Highway Patrol, which also provides security, said two others who entered the building with Stewart were also arrested for unlawful assembly: Jocelyn Frazee and Sean Anderson. Frazee had no bond set, or information on Anderson was not available online. Witnesses and friends identified the young man trying to snatch away the Black Mass script as Marcus Schroeder, who came to counter protest with fellow members of a Kansas City church. Online records show Schroeder, 21 years old, was arrested on suspicion of disorderly conduct with also a $1,000 bond. Friend of Schroeder's, Jonathan Storm, said he was trying to help a woman who also sought to snatch the script and didn't want to throw any punches. The woman, Carla Delgado, said she came to the State House with her three youngest children to deliver a petition protesting the Black Mass to Governor Kelly's office. Delgado said she approached Stewart because he was violating the governor's order and Highway Patrol troopers weren't immediately arresting him. She said in the ensuing confusion, her 4-year-old daughter was knocked to the ground. When we saw that nobody was doing anything, I guess just in the moment, it was like he's not supposed to be allowed to do this, so we tried to stop him, she said. Ooh, yeah, and so, yeah, here you have him. Oh, man. You know, there's no religion like being a reverse religion or an anti-religion, and that's really what Satanism is. Satanism is a mocking Christianity. Anyway, where's my I'm sorry. Let's do this. Let's go play the Alex Jones, the first verse of the Alex Jones song. I gotta play the first verse of the Alex Jones song. Nope, that ain't it. Oh shit.
They're a bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're a giant death factories keeping babies alive, selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people?
I'll go out and face these scum.
They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin, and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we want to eat babies." I have them on video.
Okay, that's all I wanted to play. That's what that guy deserves. A little bit of Alex Jones song there. All right. So let's move on. While we're still talking about states, there is one state that has been pretty fucking based in the last couple days. One state has been really fucking based the last couple of days. Shout out to the state legislature of Utah for multiple reasons. First off, Utah bans LGBTQ plus 2A whatever pride flags, MAGA flags, and other unapproved flags in government buildings and schools. Other certain flags can be displayed, including the American flag and the Utah state flag. Look, say what you want, like MAGA flags, they don't belong in school either. School's not a place for that shit. Utah became the first state to prohibit pride flags from being flown at government buildings and schools in a move that bans political flags such as those with Make America Great Again. Governor Cox, a Republican, announced he was allowing the ban on unsanctioned flag displays to become law without his signature. Although he continues to have serious concerns about the policy, the governor chose not to reject the proposal because the Republican-controlled legislature would have likely overridden his veto. The ban will go into effect on May 7th, when state and local government buildings will be fined $500 a day for displaying any flag other than the American flag, the Utah flag, military flags, or a handful of others approved by lawmakers. I want to know if the UN flag I want to know if the UN flag is one. I'm going to have to look this shit up. Let me go ask Grok real quick. Let me ask Grok. Let's see if Grok knows the answer. Will the United Nations flag be allowed at Utah government buildings under the new law? All right, let's see what Grok has to say. The United Nations flag is not explicitly mentioned in the list of exemptions. Category of flags of other countries refers to national flags of sovereign nations. While the UN is an international organization, it's not itself a country. Therefore, based on the wording of the law, the UN flag does not appear to as a qualified exempted flag under flags of other country provision or any other category outlined in the legislation. As a result, under the new Utah law, the UN flag would not be allowed to be displayed at Utah government buildings or public schools unless it were part of an approved educational curriculum where such flags are permitted. Any government entity displaying a non-exempted flag like the UN flag outside of this education exemption would face a fine of $500 per day starting in May. Wow. Hell yeah. Gotta love that shit. Okay, political flags supporting a candidate or party, including MAGA flags, will be prohibited. The new law put the state and the largest city, Salt Lake City, at odds. City buildings in the city typically honor Pride Month by displaying flags that celebrate the LGBTQ+. Yeah, Great Liquor says country and state only. Local leaders in Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County have illuminated the city and county buildings with rainbow lights each night since the bill was sent to Cox's desk. Salt Lake Mayor Aaron Mendenhall's office said their attorneys are reviewing the law, but the city does not yet have details on what it will do when the law takes effect. Republicans Trevor Lee and Dan McKay, both of whom are Republicans, said the measure aims to encourage political neutrality from teachers and government employees. Opponents argue that it seeks to root out LGBTQ+ expression and remove authority away from cities and towns that do not align politically with the GOP. Cox said in a letter to legislative leaders explaining his decision that he agreed with the underlying intent of the bill to make classrooms politically neutral, but believed it went too far in restricting local governments. The governor also highlighted that the law, since it narrowly focuses on flags, does not ban other political displays such as posters or lighting. To our LGBTQ community, I know the legislation has been difficult. Cox said politics can be a bit of a blood sport at times, and I know we've had our disagreements. I want you to know that I love and appreciate you, and I'm grateful you're part of the state. I know these words may ring hollow to many of you, but please know I mean them sincerely. The AP contributed to this report. Thank you, Landon Meon of Fox News. But that's not the only thing Utah has been up to lately. You want to see the other ways Utah has been a little bit based? Boom. From the AP, Utah has banned fluoride in public drinking water. The first state in the U.S. Utah becomes the first state in the U.S. To ban fluoride in public drinking water, pushing past opposition from dentists and the national health organizations who warn the move will lead to medical problems that will disproportionately affect low-income communities. Oh, my God. Oh, you gotta love the propaganda. Governor Spencer Cox signed a legislation Thursday barring cities and communities from deciding whether to add the mineral to their water systems. Florida, Ohio, and South Carolina are also considering similar measures, while in New Hampshire, North Dakota, and Tennessee, lawmakers have rejected them. A bill in Kentucky to make fluoridation optional stalled in the state Senate. The American Dental Association sharply criticized the Utah law, saying it showed wanton disregard for the oral health and well-being of their constituents. Cavities are the most chronic childhood disease, the ADA noted. Fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear, according to the CDC. Folks, if you believe that, if you fucking believe that, then this summer when you're going to go to the beach, instead of putting the suntan lotion on your shoulders and on your nose, just drink it. Just drink the suntan lotion. Cuz apparently topical treatments allegedly just work better if you just drink them. They want you drinking fluoride so that it could get to your teeth instead of just rinsing it in your mouth or using fluoride treatment. No, let's just mandate that everyone just fucking drink it. It's a toxic waste. It's a toxic waste. I don't care if I get banned from Facebook or from YouTube. I don't care if I get banned from YouTube. It's a toxic waste. In fact, am I banned from? No, my YouTube's still going. It's a toxic fucking waste. It's a byproduct of toxic waste. Sodium fluoride is a fucking poison. But you folks know that. My audience probably already knows that. But even if it wasn't a toxic waste, again, you put it on your teeth, not in your fucking stomach. Hey, we got Yanny Fangs over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Good seeing you. Take the fluoride suppository. Yeah, just wad the fluoride up and just stick it right up your rectum. I mean, I'm sure the AP and the American Dental Association and the national health organizations, nearly impossible to get a toxic dose of fluoride in water, the NIH says. Well, remember, Bobby Kennedy is on the job now. These studies are going to be redone. The NIH, remember, we're done with Fauci. Fauci's gone. All these studies happened under Fauci. Fauci's gone. Now we're going to get Bobby Kennedy in there. And Bobby Kennedy has said, we got to stop doing this shit. 2 in 5 adolescents have mild tooth streaking or spottiness because of too much fluoride. Yep. Since 2015, federal health officials have recommended a fluoridation level of 0.7 milligrams per liter. For 5 decades before that, the recommended upper range was 1.2 milligrams. The World Health Organization has set a safe limit at 1.5. Yeah, and I don't trust the World Health Organization with jack and shit. Fluoride's considered one of the greatest health achievements in 100. Oh my God. It's a matter of personal choice, the bill sponsor says. Sponsor Representative Stephanie Grecius acknowledged that fluoride has benefits, but it was an issue of individual choice to not have it in the public water. Out of the 484 Utah water systems that reported data in 2024, only 66 fluoridated their water, the AP analysis showed. The largest was that in, of course, Salt Lake City. Utah ranked 44th in the nation for percentage of residents that receive fluoridated water, according to the CDC. Thank you to Hannah Schoenbaum of the AP for your totally not biased reporting on the removal of fluoride from the Utah drinking water. Sanglan 86 says, long rot the fuke. Yeah. Good old Fauci. So I mentioned RFK Jr., Bobby Kennedy, and Bobby Kennedy is going to be the recurring big theme of the rest of the show. You may be able to tell from the title of the show, Bobby the Pimp. he's going to be a recurring theme for the next several news articles. And let's start with let's start small and go big. We've got the top vaccine official at the FDA has resigned and criticized his boss. Dr. Peter Marks, and this is from the USA Today. It's being reported by all outlets, though. Top vaccine official at the FDA wrote in a letter on Friday that he was resigning from his position and criticized HHS Secretary Bobby Kennedy Jr., who has questioned the effectiveness of vaccines for years and promoted claims that certain vaccines are linked to autism. In the letter addressed to acting FDA Commissioner Sarah Brenner, Mark said he would resign and retire as director of the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, effective April 5th, according to a copy obtained by the Washington Post and New York Times. The center is responsible for examining safety and effectiveness of biological products such as vaccines. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. I mean, I'm assuming this motherfucker had the job during the jabby jab, no? During the Fauci poke? I'm assuming this guy was in charge of a lot of that, huh? As you are aware, I was willing to work to address the Secretary's concerns regarding vaccine safety and transparency by hearing from the public and implementing a variety of different public meetings and engagements with the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, Marks wrote in the letter. However, it has become clear that truth and transparency are not desired by the Secretary, but rather he wishes a subservient confirmation of his misinformation and lies, he added. So in other words, I wanted to gang up on him with these science grifters, and he said no. Marks added that undermining confidence in well-established vaccines is irresponsible and detrimental to public health and a clear danger to our nation's health, safety, and security. Marks joined the FDA in 2012 as Deputy Center Director for the Center of Biologics Evaluation and Research, and later became the director in 2016, according to his webpage. He was instrumental in carrying out Warp Speed under the first Trump administration, which was a federal effort to speed up the development of the jab. Dr. Ashish Jha, dean of the Brown University School for Public Health, wrote on X, formerly Twitter, that Marks is, quote, one of the most brilliant, dedicated scientists and public servants. Jha served as White House COVID-19 response coordinator under Biden. He helped usher in scientific rigor and transparency into the FDA, and tonight he's being pushed out. What fucking transparency? What fucking transparency? You mean all the lies we were being told for 3 years about safe and effective? And then she says, making the FDA dramatically weaker and less effective. This is not how we make America healthy. You fuckers were responsible for the lies about safe and effective. And you're trying to tell me that this isn't safe or effective. Yeah, you can fuck off with him. You need to just fuck off with him. I mean, you already have. You fucked off to Brown University now, but you could just keep fucking off. I mean, the fucking gall of these people. These people should be in tribunal right now. These people should be in Guantanamo. Instead, they're fucking wagging their finger at us. It's ridiculous. So, Bobby Kennedy Jr. Is also being accused by Axios here of body shaming the West Virginia governor. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. plans to put the governor of West Virginia on a diet. Why it matters. While promoting his Make America Healthy Again agenda, HHS Secretary Kennedy suggested that Governor Patrick Morrisey should have public weigh-ins with a celebration when he loses 30 pounds. I'm going to put him on a... here, I got to try to do the Kennedy voice here. I'm going to put him on a really rigorous regime. We're going to put him on a carnivore diet, Kennedy said on Friday in Martinsburg. Raise your hand if you want Governor Morrissey to do a public weigh-in once a month, he continued as the crowd applauded. Then when he's lost 30 pounds, I'm going to come back to the state and do a celebration and a public weigh-in with him. You're welcome, Denise, Kennedy added, referring to the governor's wife. Well, does she need it? It's a he. It's a he, and he probably does. Let's see. Patrick Morrissey. Let's see. Patrick Morrissey. All right, what do you think? What do you think? Think he can drop 30? How quick do you think he can drop 30? Hey, we got Rusty Rivers in the chat over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. At least some people got some free shitty donuts. Yeah. Them safe and effective fucking glazed fucking donut holes, man. Ugh. All right. And of course, I killed my screen share here. Bring this back up. There we go. When Kennedy's comments rippled across social media, White House staffers reacted privately with a shrug, a chuckle, and an expectation of more criticism than materialized. Kennedy traveled to West Virginia to promote reforms. West Virginia is advancing a bill to try to stop people using SNAP, commonly referred to as food stamps, from buying soda pop. The ultimate authority lies with the Department of Agriculture, which runs the program, but Kennedy's been supportive of these nutrition reforms. The governor also pledged to get dyes and food additives removed from school meals. Morrissey said he would also like to promote a healthier lifestyle and plans to lead by example. He invited Kennedy to be his personal trainer. So there we go. So it's the good kind of body shaming, the one where the governor here was in on the body shaming, and he wants to lose weight. Hey man, as someone who's done it, as someone who's dieted and exercised and got a bunch of pounds off, man, hey, good luck to the governor. He's up on the portions, yeah, and he's up on the donuts and vaccines, by the way. Okay, so now we got to talk a little bit. Why are there so many Bobby Kennedy news stories this week? Well, there were multiple videos, and I'm not going to play the two big ones. There's two big videos going viral right now, and they're both about 10 minutes long. It started with Candace Owens. Candace Owens started talking about basically questioning why Robert Kennedy Jr. has been speaking so positively about Israel lately. And then there have been these sort of little buzzes around the internet that there might be some compromising videos of Robert F. Kennedy in an alleged sex scandal. And so there's this long diatribe that Candace Owens gives about other people that may be involved in some sort of blackmail scheme to get Bobby Kennedy to support Israel. This was then picked up by Ian Carroll, who did his own 10-minute video breaking everything down. And I'm gonna bring up Grok here to kind of give you the greatest hits here. I'm gonna bring up Grok. And I told you I don't want to make my show Grok heavy, but I'm not going to sit here and watch two 10-minute videos when I could have Grok summarize it. We could be done with the story in 5 minutes, and then I could give my own take, and then we can move on to more news. Like I'm trying to give you the best bang for your buck when I go to Grok. I'm not using it for all my content, but something like this where we don't need to sit through 20 minutes of Candace Owens and Ian Carroll. Although please go check out their content as well. I always advise people get your news from as many sources as possible. Gray Liquor says it sounded like all speculations on the control aspect, but he might be a kitty hound. Yeah, and that's that. We're going to get into that now. Okay, so let me bring up this. Bring this up here. Here's a TLDR summary of the key points Candace Owens and Ian Carroll have recently made about Bobby Kennedy Jr. based on available information. Candace Owens has suggested that RFK Jr. is being influenced or controlled possibly by Israel or Zionist interests, as seen in her podcast episode, Who is Controlling RFK Jr., March 27th. Owens has also criticized him for perceived hypocrisy on vaccine stances, particularly after he endorsed vaccinating children against measles in a Fox News column, contrasting with past anti-vaccine rhetoric. She's hinted at a broader conspiracy involving blackmail, tying it to figures like Olivia Nuzzi and Jessica Mann. Ian Carroll, known for promoting conspiracy theories, Carroll's claimed, why did you need to add that? Carroll has claimed RFK Jr. is part of a system controlled by the Zionist Mafia, or an international criminal organization rooted in Jewish influence, as per his posts on X in a video from July 2024. He moderated an RFK Jr. campaign event on AI in August 2024, despite his anti-Semitic views, suggesting either alignment or tactical use by the campaign. Both portray RFK Jr. as compromised. Owens focusing on personal blackmail and policy shifts, Carroll on a grander narrative of Zionist control, though their claims often lack concrete evidence and lean heavily on speculation. And so I asked, who are the key players alleged in the compromise? And then it says, it seems your question was cut off. I'm assuming you're asking, who are the key players alleged in the compromise of RFK Jr., according to Owens and Carroll, which, okay, whatever. Candace says Israel and Zionist interests, claiming Israel influences RFK Jr.'s decisions. She ties this to a broader conspiracy narrative about Zionist power. And then Jessica Mann. Owens referenced Jessica Mann, a figure linked to the Harvey Weinstein conviction, alleging that Mann reached out to her with details implying blackmail. This suggests that Mann is a potential player or source in a scheme to compromise RFK Jr., though specifics are vague. And then Olivia Nuzzi, indirectly implicated through association with a supposed sexting scandal. Owens hints at Nuzzi as being part of a narrative of personal leverage over RFK Jr., though this is speculative and lacks direct evidence. Now, one thing I will say, Ian Carroll's video says that Olivia Nuzzi, the rumor is that Olivia Nuzzi has straight up video of video chat sexting that, like, even her husband may have been involved or something. This is what Ian Carroll's claiming. Folks, you got to go into this shit with a certain amount of skepticism. I mean, it's bad enough, right? It's bad enough at face value. But then to take it this extra step further and throw all this spicy little details in, this is the kind of shit Ian Carroll does. And I love Ian Carroll, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of things he reports on, like the Las Vegas map from the Las Vegas shooting. There's lots of things he reports on that's just amazing information. When he goes down the aisles at the grocery store and tells us which products are owned by private equity firms versus which products are run by family businesses. I think that's valuable information. But stuff like this, it essentially breaks down to gossip. And it's good to talk about the potential that RFK Jr., we do need to kind of keep an eye on these members of the Trump administration and speak out when they're doing things we don't like. But as of right now, this idea that, Bobby Kennedy's compromised and there may be these sex tapes coming out and we got to watch out for him doing shady shit in order to cover up the sex tape. Come on. Carroll alleges RFK Jr. is controlled by a shadowy Zionist mafia or international criminal organization with Jewish roots, as per his ex posts in a 2024 video. He frames this as systemic force manipulating U.S. politics, including RFK Jr. Carroll's rhetoric often blurs into the anti-Semitic tropes. Okay, whatever. Suggesting a nebulous Jewish cabal as the key player behind RFK Jr.'s actions, though he provides no concrete names or verifiable proof. Both Owens and Carroll lean on conspiratorial frameworks. Okay, but we get your point, Grok. Let me go ahead and just stop Grok right there. And let me get into my point. Let's get into my little rant about all of this. And people don't often ask me where I sit on the Zionism question. And it's a very touchy topic in politics right now. And when it comes to Israel, when it comes to Muslims, when it comes to all of these things, like fuck them all. Like literally fuck them all. But if you're a Jewish American just trying to live your life, just trying to go to work, do your job, come home, chill on a Friday. Gray Liquor says, wasn't Ian a part of RFK Jr.'s campaign? Or JFK Jr. or RFK? There was a thing. Yeah, they said he was. Rusty River said, I'd be surprised if he didn't have any sex tape. He is a wealthy Kennedy. Yes. Which brings me, like, there's three angles to my rant here. First off, the JQ. For me, it's enough to just say globalist. Because, to be honest, when you start making this all about the Jews or the Zionists, right? The Zionist, sure. Zionist is a more accurate word, but it's not the Jews, right? Because it's kind of like when black folks say that we live in a white patriarchy, right? That the United States is built on white supremacy. It's the idea that, well, the average white dude in Kansas who could barely make his fucking mortgage is somehow responsible for the Bill Gates of the world. I mean, it's the same white privilege narrative. And then, but when white people apply the same kind of narrative to the globalist Jewish mafia or whatever the hell Ian Carroll's talking about here, when white dudes apply the same logic, you ignore the fact that it's not about their race. It's about their elites who believe they are superior to all races. Who believe that they should depopulate the world in these conspiratorial ways. I'm fine just using the word fucking globalists. I don't care what book they claim to read their religious texts in. I don't care that their bloodline, whether it started in Africa or the Hebrew nations or in Europe. I don't care. The globalists are the fucking globalists. And if they want us to die, fuck you. I'm not letting them off. I'm not letting them off. We know who globalists are. We know the George Soroses. We know the Klaus Schwabs. And we know the heads of the major banking firms, BlackRock, and other private equity firms, all the people. Yanny Fang says, Cheryl Hines is a pretty cute Florida gal. I don't know why you'd step out on her, but she might be miserable in some way. Yeah, Yanny Fangs, there's the old saying, show me a supermodel and I'll show you some dude that's tired of banging her. I don't know if I necessarily buy into that. I think men are capable of monogamy. I'm not quite sure about Kennedy's, but most men are capable of monogamy. Rusty Rivers wouldn't, says Great Liquor. So let's see here. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's look this shit. Olivia Nuzzi. Let's look up Olivia Nuzzi. And then let's look up Cheryl Hines. I mean, honestly, as I'm looking at both of them, I'd probably see if I could get both of them at the same time if I was Bobby, but okay, so we got Cheryl Hines. What did I do with that other window now? Damn it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's Olivia Nuzzi. And then Cheryl Hines. And Olivia Nuzzi. I mean, he definitely has a type. Definitely has a type. Anyway, both very beautiful women. I mean, congratulations to Bobby Kennedy if the rumors are true. And if that tape's going to be leaked, that's going to be an interesting tape. Not that I'm into watching porno. Not that I suggest going and looking for porno, especially celebrity porno. But anyway, let's hear. So you heard my take. Let's hear Alex Jones's take, and then we'll kind of move on and do the love, don't judge, and wrap up the show. Let's hear Alex Jones's take.
This whole RFK Jr. thing with, there's these women and people at events saying he's with women, and this is going on. There's this writer over here that, attacked Candace Owens and, Rabbi Shmuley, who is a demon. And I don't like the fact that Kennedy sits there and says nice things about him. It's ridiculous. So you do have to ask what's going on there. But Kennedy's always supported Israel. And me personally, I don't like the whole Palestinian thing and Iran and Hezbollah, and I also don't like the
So I
stuff
guess
Israel
Kennedy
doing.
said good things about Shmuley.
You know me, I don't think that's the biggest problem in the world. I spent some of my time on it. But
dildo salesman Rabbi Shmuley
in Ukraine, Europe, the UK, and France openly sending troops now to fight Russia, and Putin saying it'll be a bloodbath. We're ready for total war. That's getting about 1% of the coverage of just this total Israel obsession. So from my perspective, I'm just so sick of being on air 30 years and people always being obsessed.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
Israel,
they violated
Christian
the ceasefire.
Zionists that just worship it and think it can do no wrong, no matter who's in charge there. The other side that just thinks.
Yeah, that's the one thing I didn't cover. They violated the ceasefire and then demanded more hostages be released than were agreed to in the terms of the ceasefire. So, I mean, say what you will about Israel. I mean, you could have came to the table and kept negotiating during the ceasefire. Instead, you just decided to drop more bombs.
Everything's run by Jews. I'm just freaking tired of it, okay? If you look at RFK Jr., I don't care if his wife's okay with it, if he's been with 20 chicks, okay? In the last couple of years, okay? As long as it's consensual. I don't care. I'm not saying it's morally the best thing. I personally have not done stuff like that, but when I was younger and stuff, I was wild. So, but I understand the mindset. And if you think the Kennedys, who are famous for their prowess and for their drive, but you also see in life, in other aspects, if you think that's the reason to have some big scandal, even if it's true, and to do all of this, and then let them continue with the poison shots.
I wonder if I'm still live on YouTube
stuff,
with this.
It's bullshit. So I'm not saying Candace shouldn't cover this and Ian shouldn't cover it, but man, I just listened to an hour plus of this stuff. And Ian's like, well, this isn't really just girl stuff, yeah, it is. I mean, this lady attacked Candace, sneaking around, take out his husband, take a shot. All that's bullshit. That stuff happens to be in my family all the time. I just ignore it. I don't even read it because it's always BS. And they're jealous of Candace because she's smart and funny and witty and just hilarious. All of it was great. I was just so it was very entertaining. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, people ask why I don't get involved in all this stuff, and it's because I am really about policy.
I don't believe you, Alex. I don't believe you. You're letting them get away with it. Alex Jones, you're getting paid off by the Zionists, aren't you? I'm just kidding.
There's thousands of missing kids. getting the real Epstein files out that they've now gotten and are being distributed to all the FBI offices around the country. That's confirmed from my sources directly. The left is allied with the Palestinians. It doesn't mean I'm against them either. I'm just saying it's part of a dialectic to take all our time and all our energy
to infight.
And that's why Israel
it's
got
infighting.
In the 60s all over Europe, Spain, and the Middle East, bombing synagogues and blaming it on outside groups to make Jews move to Israel. The more you attack Israel, the stronger it gets, because the cult that runs it manipulates and controls the white supremacists and all the groups that then come in. Not all of them.
So I just want to. I'm gonna stop it right there because there's only like 20 seconds left, and he's basically just going to keep with the divide and conquer narrative there. And I just want to say to Bobby Kennedy, if Bobby Kennedy happens to see any of this, I just want to say to Bobby Kennedy, look, you're going to have your weirdos on the left and the right who get overly involved in politics. Sure. But I want to tell you, compromise or no compromise, the majority of the American people give no fucks if you're whacking off to random chicks on the internet. I mean, have your sex chats, man. Just do it. Don't worry about the compromise. Just let people know, hey, I'm a little bit of a perv. I like my consensual sex. If the far left can come and dude, you can't kink shame. Okay, well then don't kink shame the man, right? Don't kink shame the Health and Human Services director. I mean, the left will come out and say, well, it's hypocritical for the right wing to be supporting such a guy. They're all conservative. No, it ain't, because we know he was a leftist. We know he was a Kennedy. We know. It's not a hypocrite. We don't say that we support beating off to random chicks in sexting who's not your wife. Yeah, RFK, AJ looking like RFKJ's been training him. Yeah. Imagine if the governor of West Virginia gets on the Alex Jones diet. How ripped he could be. I mean, think about this guy. Here, let me bring this back up. Yeah, if Alex Jones can do it, this guy here can shred some pounds too, being on the RFK Jr. diet. All right, well, one more news story, and then we'll get. I know I said we'd get into the love don't judge, but let's do one more news story real quick. We got Minnesota's favorite governor saying something Alex Jones worthy. Let's hear it.
We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote. This is one of the things, though, that this is going to take power to the streets. I don't know.
Okay, so they say that Republicans want to restrict the vote. Meanwhile, in Wisconsin, they're trying to win this Supreme Court race, which I didn't look. Do we have results on that, or is that just early voting? Oh yeah, that's probably going to be Tuesday, isn't it? April 1st. Okay. So yeah, we got this Wisconsin Supreme Court race where they've essentially said the leftist wants to win in order to re-gerrymander the whole damn state so that we lose 2 Republican seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. But it's Republicans that want to damage elections. Okay. And but don't worry not. Tim Walz has the solution. Tim Walz has the solution for all of our problems with big Republican government.
What the answer is on this, but I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government. So
a what? Did I hear that right?
But I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government. So when all these things come up every single day, we've got an alternate press conference.
Really? Now, there have been a lot of speculation for years that the first Trump administration had a certain air of ineffectiveness to it. Like there were certain public policies that were being, certain yes men that were yes manning Donald Trump to his face, but then other operatives working behind the scenes doing the exact opposite. There have been a lot of speculation about this. And we see how Trump's cabinet looks dramatically different in 2025, than it did in 2017. Trump's cabinet looks way different now. And now Tim Walz comes out and says, well, we need a different government underneath our government, offering different press conferences for a different reality. Like, what are you trying to say here? A different press conference? Why do you need a different press conference? If government is doing a single action, why do you need two different messages going out? Oh, because you want an actual shadow government to operate underneath the government doing a different thing. And you think lying to Republicans is gonna be enough to achieve that. So let's listen again.
We've got an alternate press conference telling the truth about what things are happening.
Telling the truth about what things are happening.
I think we need a shadow government.
So there we go. He thinks we need a shadow government. All right, folks, you ready to get degenerate? So every Saturday on the show, we like to head over to YouTube to this channel called Love Don't Judge. And here at Miles Culture Plate, we call this segment Love Does Admonish, because they like to not judge degeneracy. And we here at Miles Culture Plate like to look at these unique relationships where people are just trying to have a loving relationship with the person they've picked, and they're trying to kind of outline how they have all these haters who just want to be mean to them for the ways in which they love. Yanny Fang says, it looks like the few of those lovely ladies behind him are kind of listening to his words and going, wait, huh? I didn't notice the ladies here. Let me look.
I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government, so when all these things come up every single day,
this
we've
lady,
got an alternate press conference
this lady,
telling the truth about what
this lady's nodding. She's for it.
We see
one
one
of
of
the first
things
clapping.
they do is try and restrict the vote.
All right. So anyway, so Love Don't Judge. Rusty River says, I'm already degenerate. So am I. Legitimately, so am I. I've told a lot of stories about my degeneracy and my romantic past on this program. There are definitely some brighter days ahead for that, but as of right now, hey man, I got a dirty mind. Anyway, so we like to examine these relationships that are just a little different, where people feel like they might be being judged for who they love. And we like to watch these clips of them on YouTube here and determine, do they really deserve a little bit of admonishment for the ways in which they live their life? Are they hiding something underneath all of the insecurity? In this segment we call Love Does Admonish, and let's go ahead and jump over to Love Don't Judge. I left my short king for a short queen.
This is Lizzie. She fell in love with Candy. In the past,
Oh, no.
Lizzie has only dated men.
I left my short king for my short queen.
So, hey, we got the Wiser over on Rumble. Cheers and welcome. Make shame great again. Yes. I need to do yet another stream. It's been a long time since I did my stream on shame and dignity. I need to bring that rant back up. Oh my God. We've got you folks mind if I do an ad read? I think I need to do an ad read. Let's do another ad read. What happened? It's not letting me. It's not letting me do it this time. Damn it. Yep, it's not going to let me do it. Oh, there it is. Weak coffees for the weak, and at Rumble, weak has never been a part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, no settling for mediocrity, just like 1775 coffee. Single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out bullshit when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans roasted, just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness and vitality. Mushroom blend, real energy and lasting focus, no synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole beans, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775 Coffee and use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. And every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck so that you can drive over the libs that are trying to firebomb you, and $30,000 cash. Yeah, that's not advice to drive over libs. It's not a call for violence. Please don't do that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and click complete on that. And thank you, folks, for being willing to sit through that real quick. Let's get back into Love Don't Judge and see this lady. If you're brave enough, anything can be a dildo if you're brave enough. Anyway.
And since getting together, the couple often attract unwanted attention due to their height difference.
People tend to sort of glare, sort of whisper amongst themselves.
I'm holding hands with somebody that is so much taller than me. And I kind of get nervous sometimes because I'm like, do they think that I'm your daughter? It affects you.
Daughter,
Lizzie more so
lady, I'm sorry. You do not have the face of a 15-year-old. You just do not have. Oh, Yanny Fang says 1775 coffee is surprisingly tasty or inspiringly tasty. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. Not surprisingly, inspiringly. Yeah, we expect it to be tasty. Anyway, so yeah, look at this face. That's not the face of a 15-year-old.
Than me. She's the one that's questioned all the time if she's actually a
If
woman.
anything, she looks younger.
Hi, I'm Lizzie.
Yeah, you look like the daughter.
And I'm Candy.
I'm 6'3" and I swapped my short king for a short queen.
We first met from social media, though.
Yeah,
Like,
of course,
from
they're
our
from
job.
Cornwall.
She kept putting up stories to try and get me.
I did. I put stories up and I was like tagging
Yeah,
Lizzie
15
Ronquist. I was
plus
like, anybody
15.
knows Lizzie? Like, can you tell her?
Maybe another
that I
15 on
also
top
do
of
the
it.
same job as
45.
her? And that's not really heard of in our industry, like to be in the same town.
Now, wait a minute. Wait, God. Your face don't look like that either. This is catfishing like a motherfucker. Folks, be careful what you're beating off to, because it might be something like this.
And then she finally reached out to me and we met in Costa Coffee. Because Lizzie was so far on in the industry than I was in social media, like she had a lot more followers. I felt like I was meeting a celebrity. Like that's how I felt. We became best friends for a very long time.
You were attracted to me first.
Was it obvious that I was attracted to you?
I think so, yeah. But I just didn't feel the same then.
6 months passed and I was very much aware that you didn't want me.
You did change your style, so that helped.
That helped? Did it actually?
I think it's just because I got to know you as a person.
I'm speechless.
When we started to make content that wasn't just TikTok, I was like, oh, was it when you had your boob job? I don't know.
To be fair, yeah, it was probably when you had yours as well. It wasn't much.
I was like, actually,
Oh, yeah.
quite nice.
Wait, so you both have had plastic surgery and neither of you did anything about her cheeks or her jaw or your fucking chin? Like, you just did your titties. I mean, I guess. Whatever will make the OnlyFans money.
Getting a bit fed up with the comments online, though.
People constantly questioning, like, my height. How tall do they think you were?
Well, they just keep saying that you're not 4'9", and I'm like, well, how tall do you think I am then?
Why does it even matter anyway? I'm not being funny. I had to have it tattooed on my hand just so that people stop asking me.
Yet, I bet both of these bitches have asked men how tall they are. Guaranteed.
Every time we go out, even just in person, like people stare at us.
I know. I mean, I can see.
I'm past it now.
I know we are, but like, obviously, you can see that it's quite a significant difference. I suppose.
It's really frustrating, though.
It means of people judging our relationships.
Oh my God, her
in
titties
public,
were
and
hanging
people tend
out.
to sort of glare, sort of whisper amongst themselves. I think just general comments. It's just words indicating with regards to our height.
And
I think
her
there's
titties
like
are
a
out
double
there
whammy
too.
because I think just being in a lesbian relationship on its own as a public display is something people talk about. I genuinely believe that. Like people just look and then it makes it doubly something to look at.
I get judgment about my height.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Okay, so yes, you're not wrong. Part of that is when people think of public lesbian display, they like to think that there's going to be some masculine butch Rosie O'Donnell involved, and you ladies aren't that unattractive. I'm not going to call you hot. I'm not going to call you necessarily lipstick lesbians, but you're close. You're close. And that may throw some people for a loop, and that may, don't get me wrong, you're degenerate enough, but it may spark more degeneracy ideas than what the reality might be. But you're pretty fucking degenerate by putting this shit online and doing all these videos where your titties are hanging out for money.
On my own anyway, so people was passing judgments. If you add that dynamic into it, then it's just it's even more so.
I'm holding hands with somebody that is so much taller than me, and I kind of get nervous sometimes because I'm like, do they think that I'm your daughter because of the height? I remember when
Great Liquor says, not going to complain about them legs. Well, you need those legs that tall so that she doesn't poke your eye out with that chin.
we went through town, there was a group of guys that were stood out at the pub and they were shouting a green giant. They asked if he was a man.
That tends to be the type of thing.
Or transvestite.
Oh, are you a man?
Yeah, and it was shouted.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. You think maybe she's had the surgery?
In a public place, like that place being our actual hometown where we go daily. I do remember Lizzie was like instantly wanted to leave, like we had a good day and all of a sudden like the entire day was completely ruined. Your emotion, like it was just gone. You just wanted to go. Then you got back and you were down, and it affects you. Like Lizzie more so than me in this situation. She's the one that's questioned all the time if she's actually a woman or a man, which again is quite strange.
I mean, do they have a WNBA in Cornwall?
I think it's a projection of men's like insecurities over a woman being so much taller. So generally, that can like emasculate.
Yes, it's all insecurity.
Yeah.
All criticism is based on insecurity, folks.
Helping each other feel better through those situations.
We never got together on a first date. It was never like that. I think because of the industry we're in, like we made content and then we kind of moved forward onto making content for our pages. When Lizzie like finally caved and made content with me in that way, that's when you kind of said to me that there was something more there. It was just natural. We spent so much of our life together that we just grew into that.
Why
and then
we
we
gotta
were
show
sort of like, hey, are you my girlfriend? Like, what's going on here?
Yes, it was official just nearly 3 months ago.
Look,
obviously we've not like been official.
Look, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that's like, oh, if I see a same-sex couple kissing, it's gross. But I literally don't need the fucking clips of your porn during, like, I'm so oppressed. Like, people criticize us so much. Here, look at my titties. Like, come on. I mean, you're clearly just doing this for attention and money. This has, like, regardless of how the two of you feel about each other, like, you can't complain that you're getting bad attention when your entire fucking business model is getting bad attention.
As publicly, only because there was such a short gap between previous relationships, and it just didn't want it to continuously be out there until we were ready to. This is my first time dating a woman.
Short gap between previous relationships. So this tells me like the lesbian thing was supposed to be a rebound thing for the blonde. And she kind of feels like she's stuck in it now because she's making so much fucking money. I would bet dollars to donuts that's what's going on now. Yanni says, voice seems legit female, but who knows these days? Yeah, I think it's a female. Can't change the whole bone structure, says the wiser. Reportedly, one of Putin's limousines exploded. Oh, wow. Shit. I might have to look into that and cover it for the Wednesday show. Or maybe, I don't know. I'm still debating on, I'm pretty sure Monday's going to have to be a gaming stream makeup, since I missed essentially 2 gaming streams due to the flood. Yeah, if you're blasting your shit out to the internet, stop bitching when you get some flack. Yeah. I mean, literally, you're putting the bad versions of yourself out there and then complaining that people are calling it bad.
And the difference is
As you
I
weren't
think that women
expecting the
get
ways in which
other
they call
women
it
better
bad.
than men do. Part of the reason I've opened myself up to women is I'm so fed up with being messed around by men.
This is my first time dating a
I called it. Lesbian thing was supposed to be a rebound and she stuck. I fucking called it.
woman. I find it quite peaceful, to be honest. There's not a lot of arguing and there's a lot of laughing. Do you think it, like, your followers are going to think it's weird that you're with a girl? It's like you've always been with a guy. I don't think you've ever been bisexual.
I think they'll just be happy that I'm happy.
Hi, I'll post it. Do you think that people are going to think that you're, like, pretending to be with me because you've been, like, only ever been with men? Do you think they're going to think that this isn't, like, authentic?
Well, people can think what they want, but at the end of the day,
yeah, she's secretly hoping there's some pay pig simp gonna take her away from all. Yet still let her do.
We often get stared at, but we don't care. Let's get ready, shall we?
I'm so shocked that jumpsuit actually fits because all the other ones are so, like, short on your leg.
I know, it's actually crazy. They said she could fit someone your size and mine.
Quit rubbing your jacket against
It's
the
hard
microphone.
finding clothes to fit your height, though, isn't it? It's really quite nice. Have a walk without.
I say
stared
in
at all
my
the time,
non-vocal
isn't it? Like in the
mic.
countryside.
Yes.
A bit different than our usual walk. Literally, we just posted that TikTok not long ago, and someone's just commented on it, saying that you literally look like a giant.
Oh, well, do you know what? I'm getting sick of comments like that, to be honest. It's just.
They do it quite often, don't they? Like, what else do they say to you?
I mean, if you're
they're just always
gonna show your ass crack on the internet, why are you reading the comments?
If that person was here now from TikTok, what would you say to him?
Well, I'm not
this
being
is
funny, you've got
TikTok?
some of your own issues that you need to work on and just,
Oh yeah, they tend to use TikTok to advertise their
What about
OS.
you?
Probably nothing. I never really say anything.
I wouldn't. If they were
anyone like
here,
that.
I would, but online, I just ignore them. To be honest with you, because they're just trolls most of the time. They, you know what I mean? They just get off and bringing others down. So,
Hey, did you see that? Hang on, let me go back. I don't want people to think I'm your daughter with my receding hairline. Look, her hair's thinner than mine in the middle. Look at the part. Look at the part. Look at my part. Her hair's thinner than mine there. Lady, I'm 45 and I wear hats all the time. And I got more hair right there than you do.
to be honest with you, because they're just trolls.
Nobody
most of
thinks
the
you're
time.
17.
You know what I mean? They just get off and bringing others down. That's the point.
Has your height ever, like, stopped you from dating before, like, with blokes?
Well, it's made guys, like, insecure because obviously.
Oh my God, the Wiser. Did you see the animated Lord of the Rings in Ghibli style? Oh my God, the Ghibli memes are so great. And yes, I did see the Lord of the Rings thing. Oh, that was amazing.
There's such a significant difference, but it doesn't stop me. Like, I still wear heels. I think now I'm more comfortable in who I am. I don't really care. I think if they don't like it, then I'll have to buy a pair of heels as well. I do. You know I don't mind you wearing flats anyway. I think this relationship works because we're very similar people, so we've been through a lot of the same things in life.
There's nothing that I don't like about Lizzie, is an easier way to put it. Even her flaws in your mood swings, I find them quite funny. To people who judge our relationship, I don't care what they say.
If somebody's going to judge you, well, regardless of if it's this or anything else, then they should look a little bit closer to home as to why they're judging somebody in the
Okay,
first
wait a
place.
minute. They just blurred that out and her titties were covered. I think she's got an obscene tattoo on her chest. Fellas, stay away from crazy ladies with chest tattoos. That's all. Personal experience. I'm not going to go into the story. Just stay away. Just chest tattoos. Like we've talked about all the red flags before, the nose ring, the pink purple hair, the chest tattoos, biggest red flag ever. Never, not on any day ending in Y. No chest tattoos. Anyway, so yes, Weiser says don't stick it in crazy. But yes, that's your number one red flag for crazy. Occasionally you might find, an innocent girl who got wrapped up in a fad and got, like a tattoo on the lower back, or got the stupid nose ring in the middle like a cow, or dyed her hair pink just to change things up after a bad breakup or something. You could find a good girl who's done any of those. You're never finding a sane woman who's got tattoos all over her titties. It just doesn't happen. Anyway, so that was Love Does Admonish.
Big shout out to those ladies. Yeah, again, they build it as a height difference thing, and then like half the thing was just about the tall chick being insecure, and really they kind of kept drifting off into the lesbian thing, and ultimately they didn't really talk about the short girl being that short. So I mean, it was more about the tall chick being insecure about being tall and being called a man, and being thought of as the other chick's mommy, when really, yeah, the short chick seemed very confident and very, open within herself. I mean, that really, the message I took from the whole thing is the tall chick just is living a whole life of insecurity, of unsuredness in what she's gotten herself into with porn and a crazy girlfriend and a money stream that just is probably just dumping buckets of money on her. Hey, we got our good friend Cool Frog. Cheers and welcome to Cool Frog over there on Rumble. Good to see you while I'm sitting in my whiskey den. Not drinking whiskey tonight, but good seeing you. Good seeing you. My height thing, the tall one in heels and the short one was not. Yes, yeah. Oh my God. Good catch. Great liquor. Yeah, the tall chick was wearing heels. What do you expect? Oh, I had to tattoo my height on my hand so people could quit asking while she's wearing fucking heels. God damn. Ooh, Yanny Fangs confirmed lost V card to a former Wiccan with tattoo on her boob. Yep. Yeah, I had a rebound situation where, yeah, there was. All I'm going to say is there was a wrong hole moment, and she was aware of it, and I was not. Until like minutes into it. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so that's pretty much the show for today. Just a quick recap of the show notes. I'm going to try to get my office put back together tomorrow. If I can get everything back into place, if I can get everything put together, I'm looking at a gaming stream Monday night and Tuesday night. I'm guaranteeing a gaming stream Tuesday night. I mean, when I say guarantee, Lord willing that we all survive and the waters don't rise, so to speak. But it is my plan that no matter what, I plan on doing a gaming stream Tuesday night. But if everything goes well with getting the office put back together, I'll do a gaming stream Monday night on my gaming channel down in the description. So we'll do Monday and Tuesday and Thursday on the gaming channel. And I'll see you folks here, Mild's Culture Plate, Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m. Central. Same bat time, same bat channel. Whether it's in the bat cave, whether it's in my whiskey den, hey, we still got to keep this show rolling, baby. Weiser says, stay safe, make sure you have fire extinguishers. Great Liquor says, what happened to The Office? Well, I covered that at the beginning of the show, and there's also a video on my gaming channel where I kind of recapped what happened. I had a plumbing incident where essentially my kitchen sink just dumped soapy, foamy, dirty food water through the light fixture in my office and directly onto my desk. So, and it soaked down through the walls into the carpet. So, yeah, that was fun to clean up. And now my office is currently drying out, and I have to continuously go in there and disinfect, and fun times. So if I get my office put back together Monday night, probably 5 p.m. Central, over on my gaming channel. And if not, then Tuesday night, definitely. Once again, thank you all for showing up. Cheers to everyone out there who made it to the chat. And another cheers to all y'all who might be watching this later on demand. Cheers to you folks as well. Yeah, do all the things. Hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share this off platform. If you're new here, please go watch another video on my channel. Watch some of my really old stuff. Watch, get entertained. We got lots of Love Don't Judges on my old Saturday shows. We got lots of philosophical streams. They're labeled the Patriot Philosopher. They're usually special streams where I go on just rants about a certain topic, and we kind of do deep dives on certain concepts and talking points. And so feel free to dive into some of my old content if you're new here. But yeah, do all the things. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all that. Again, I'm not unsure what my Rumble premium stuff's going to look like for the month of April. Now that theme parks are open, I am a roller coaster enthusiast, so I got to make sure I have a little bit of free time for my other hobbies. But I will keep you advised as to what my schedule will be like in April once I kind of get a routine figured out. Until next time, folks, love you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Outlast those haters. Don't get any on you. And if you do, rub that shit in real good. I'll catch you next time on Mild's Culture Plate and Mild's Gaming Channel. Good night, baby.